Hi. Wow, there is a lot of people here. So I was one of those 100 people in a room in Newcastle Town Hall 5 years ago as an SDVF. And being here today and seeing this amazing crowd is just unbelievable. So well done for all of you being here today. Celine gave me a bit of an introduction, but I've been part of the Juice Plus business now for 6 years. I started this as a mummy of 2, went on to have number 3 during my year of NMD. So for all those amazing mamas out there that I can see are pregnant or nursing babies, amazing, because you guys are rocking it. So I'm going to talk a little bit on the journey that you can possibly have with your customer to NMD. And I want to share a little bit about a story that I've been privileged to be part of, but also what is possible for you guys through this business and journey with your customers as well. So you've heard this saying, I'm sure, a lot in our business about planting the seed. You know, this is a type of business that we get to plant a lot of seeds. Now, I'm a big believer in planting a lot of seeds, but I'm also a big believer in watering the garden. And what I mean by that is if you were to plant a seed, you put a seed in the soil and we don't know its destiny. It's not unrevealed yet. But what we need to do to unreveal the destiny is we need to water that seed and we need to put sunshine on that seed and then it will start sprouting. And then eventually it will start growing. And this is what I see our business a lot like with customers. And this is about pre-framing. So this is about the before you even have a customer. So we plant those seeds, but it's up to us to water that. Now, by watering, I mean just being consistent with that seed. Because I know that a lot of you right now are probably like me when I first began. You don't know whether you're stalking or you're being consistent. I don't know if anyone feels like that, but I remember when I first started and I used to just kind of spray to everyone, I realized that sometimes what I needed to do is hold back and plant those seeds and just water them gently. So consistency is really important. Being in touch with your person, your potential, without having to stalk them. Now, if you are calling them and you feel like the 5th or 6th time you feel like you're stalking them, you probably are. So just be aware of the consistency of watering your potential. And you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? I'm sure all of you have heard that before, but it's so true. I'm sure that you've had a customer that was ready to be a customer and they said yes straight away. And there's ones that aren't sure and they kind of just, hesitate here and there. It's not a no, but it might take time. So just keep watering. You will have people that are the right time at the right place and they will be the right people that you need to share this with. And always less is more. Okay, I know that especially when I first started, and a lot of you that are starting out, you just want to share as much as you possibly can and, give a lot of information. But in my experience, and I'm sure a lot of others here, less is really more. Keep it super simple. We've got a very simple product. Okay, so this is the story. This is the journey that can unfold. And I'm going to share the journey with you of something that did unfold for me in the business. So as we talked about the seed, when I started, and at the time I was at home a lot being a stay-at-home mum and I wasn't going out a lot. So I used to hand out my business cards and I got fridge magnets. If any of you haven't done fridge magnets, it's a good thing to have, right? Because what you get to do, and you send your fridge magnets to your customers, they put that on their fridge. And that's an opportunity. So I used to hand out my fridge magnets, and I did to a customer. And that customer, she had people over. She had her friends and family over. And lucky enough, the beautiful Valerie Gamer was one of those people. And she... that was the seed. The seed was the fridge magnet. So one day I was sitting at home with my kids and I get a text message and it was, can I place 2 orders of Juice Plus, 2 child health studies? And I just thought, wow, this business is that simple. I could be breastfeeding my baby and I'm getting orders on the couch. It's amazing. So Valerie became a customer. And one of the things, and what was really interesting is I never met her. I'd never met her. It was just through text message. And what I did, though, was give her really good customer care. And I know the girls are going to talk a little bit more on customer care, but, this was the watering part. The watering part of staying in touch, being consistent in my customer care, asking lots of questions. And I actually became her friend over the phone. Never met her before, but we used to have conversations that had nothing to do with Juice Plus or the product. And we started a relationship. And that watering actually took 9 months of watering. And from then, I realised that she needed to have an experience of what this is all about. And there was times I invited her to an event and things like that, and she couldn't make it. And what I truly believe with customers, they need to have that experience, whether it is their own personal experience or whether they come and see our community. And for that, I knew Val was into fitness and health, and she was really into making a difference in her body. So I invited her to the perfect event. It was an amazing person in our community that spoke on fitness and exercise, and she came and had an experience that night. And that night changed everything because she saw a vision and she saw what our community was about and then became that raving fan. And we talk about turning people into raving fans because they will be your natural sharers. And what started to happen is that raving fan started to share and refer, and Val used to talk to me about all these other people that she knew could benefit from the product. So my conversation with her was, you're doing this anyway, why don't you get paid for it? Which is a great way, and it's a great sentence to have to those people that are natural sharers in your customers. So she said yes to this opportunity of becoming a franchisee. And she was a stay-at-home mum like me. We connected a lot, and she started her business. The one thing I would say is start them strong. Make sure they see the vision of what's possible. And Val, as that stay-at-home mum that didn't have much purpose in life and really wanted something, this became that opportunity for her. She saw the belief, she saw the vision, and she stepped into something amazing. From that nurturing, we always say you get your first teamie and you become a leader in this. You can step into leadership at any time in this business. And she grew her business, she grew her first and then led a beautiful team. And then she got her wings to fly, and that became her journey to NMD. So this could be what's possible. From fridge magnet to NMD, and the watering and the nurturing and the belief, this is what could happen. So some will be customer builders, some will be business builders. Not everyone comes into this and wants to be an NMD, right? Some people may come into this and just want to share our product, and that's perfectly fine. You may have people that just want to do that. One of the things I would just really say and encourage is qualify your business through customers. You want to make sure that you have enough customers under you personally to qualify your business every single month. And that's about 30 customers, right? As soon as you've got that, you don't have to rely on any team. You are also earning that residual income through your customers. Ask them for testimonials. If you want to transition from being that beautiful customer builder to be a business builder, just do it gently. You can do this gently. Ask them for testimonials. Get them starting to share their experiences. Do they know anyone that wants to feel the same way as they do? And then they will do the business anyway. And then you can have that conversation. They'll be your natural sharers and meet people where they're at. As I said, not everyone will come into this just for the business. Some will come in just to build that customer base. But I can guarantee you, I know that there is team that have 50, 60 customers as their customer base, and there is some gold in there. So as long as you're asking that question and giving your customers that opportunity as well. Add lots of value to your customers. It's all about that experience. I know that all of you guys this weekend are going to have an experience, and that's what our business is all about, and that's even for our customers. Customer care groups are amazing. They get to showcase, we get to be able to add lots of value into that. customer events. I'm big on thanking my customers, doing those little things that count, and then showing them the opportunity. Not everyone's going to say yes, but if you have a raving fan saying yes to this, you just watch them fly. So raving fans will often be your best franchisees. So the question I have for you today is, which customers right now in front of you do you have that are in training to be part of your team? Alrighty, I think I'm done. I don't want to take too much time. Alrighty, Kimmy, over to you.
Thanks, Abby. Hi, guys. Oh my God, I have to say, the company took us to Dreamworld the other night, and I went on a roller coaster for the first time in my life, and my heart is beating faster now than when it was when I was in there. So this is really exciting, and I'm really honoured to be up on stage and sharing my message with you guys. So just leading on from what Abby talked about, I like that I get to use a clicker. Awesome. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about us and taking responsibility. So reflect the responsibility. What does that mean? So first of all, we hear this time and time again. We need to be responsible for our own business. We are independent franchisees. We've bought our own franchise. Anything that happens is just a reflection on the work we've done, yeah? So first of all, we need to take responsibility on the customers that we bring in. So what that is starting your customers strong. So you're giving them the resources that they need. You are, in contact with them weekly, monthly, whatever your system is, and just making sure that they are constantly educated. So you're taking responsibility to educate your customers so they know what's going in their body, how the system works. We run on a 4-monthly program with our main products. And the reason to be responsible there, we need to reflect it back to our customer. And what that means is when your customer knows this stuff, they're not the ones ringing head office every second day saying, I didn't know that my product was a 4-month supply. Because that does happen. And we don't want our customers to have a bad experience, because then that reflects back onto us and our business, because we're a word of mouth business. So I think that this is really, really important. So you take responsibility for how you look after your customers, and you give the responsibility back to them by constantly educating them, telling them about the product. There's so much information out there on YouTube, the websites, any of your team pages. We have health professionals in the business that constantly add value. The health tips and the resources. I don't know why I'm pointing up here. It doesn't really matter. So what resources do we have? Now, the company has just brought out the customer portal. Who has heard of the customer portal? Woohoo! Really exciting. So this is brand new, and I love this because this is a way to give your customers responsibility for their own account. And through the customer portal, they have access to, their shipping information, card details. If they need to delay their next order because they've backed up a few months or whatever it might be, they have access there. And what this is going to do is just relieve the pressure at head office, because yes, we are our own independent business, but head office does so much for us. They do sort out, decline payments and those sort of things. And they're crazy busy. Their staff tripled within 1 year. It's incredible what they do. But we need to relieve some of that pressure from them so they can service us as franchisees better. So the customer portal is really, really cool. There's 3, if you want to write them down, websites that we now own for how your customers can access their portal. So they log into there and set up their own login details. And, head office sends them emails all the time. So they're updated with that. So I think that's a really cool resource. We also have things like Facebook groups. I'm sure we all have customer care Facebook groups. We have the virtual office. So if you're looking for how can I give good customer care, what can I give them? If you go into your virtual office and there's a little tab that says resources, if you haven't looked in there, guys, go for gold. And you don't just have to stay in the Australian one. You can change the country as long as you can understand the language or change it to English. You can access all their resources because there's heaps of information on the one simple change and documents. One of our documents is about what's in an apple. And it blows your mind. But these are cool things that we get given for free to give our customers and keep them educated. Also documents, and obviously saying documents on the virtual office. We also have documents through our team pages. So my team page is a heap of files in the file section. I know a lot of NMDs or whoever runs their own team pages do the same, or customer care groups. or even people have Dropbox files full of information. So if you don't know where to find these things, ask your upline or your upline NMD, whoever you work closest with, videos. Now, if you guys haven't been on YouTube, it is like flooded with Juice Plus information. I love it. I use YouTube all the time because videos is one of the best ways to give information to your customers. And, I send customers, I thought that flicked. I send my customers monthly videos just on information of, where does the product come from, how it's made, some science tips, stuff about, relating to mums, relating to athletes, wherever their values lie. Because people want to be able to watch and connect to the emotion of the person talking in the video, not just reading something. So I find videos really, really useful. And we also run Zooms. Like, Zooms aren't just, for those of you who don't know Zoom, it's just like Skype, but lots of people can join. And we run events through Zoom that you don't just have to, invite potential teamies onto. You can get your customers onto it, whether or not they want to join the business. If you're offering product and business info, it's really good to keep them seeing what our community does. So I think that's really cool. And events, like Abbi did touch on these, and Chani is going to go into a lot more detail with this stuff. But we all run weekly events, and I can guarantee you, every single franchisee in this room, we all have at least one NMD upline that is running a weekly event. And those events, plug people into them, let them see the community. They might connect with someone that's not even in the same customer base as them, like someone else's customers, and they have a similar story, and it inspires them to, have more belief in the product and how it's helping them. So I think events are an incredible way to, invite your customers to get people face-to-face, build those relationships. So lots of resources, but hold up. It's easy to get overwhelmed with the choices of resources. I know there's lots out there, so we don't want to overload our customers and overwhelm them with content. And so what I always suggest is find 1 to 2 things and stick with it. And sticking with it means don't just do it for a week and, oh, that didn't work. Stay on it. Like, a customer's in the system for at least 4 months. You've got 4 months of good customer care to give to them. So find something, 1 to 2 things that really work for you. You might be someone who loves going to events and taking people, filling your car up with people. Do that. Or you might live in, a small town that doesn't have any weekly events that are running, but there's heaps of stuff on Zoom or through Facebook. So there's really no excuse for you to not give good customer care when the resources are available to you. And that really comes back down to this taking responsibility. So if you believe that you can't give good customer care, you need to take a step back, look in the mirror and be like, okay, I've got upline NMDs who do this full time. They want to be there to help me. Reach out and ask them what works for them might work for you. So no excuses there. All right, and my last slide. So good customer care equals residual income. We do this business because it brings in residual income, and residual income means you get paid now for the work you did months ago, years ago. And the journey starts once the customer's in the system, and Chani's going to touch on this more as well. And we do feel like sometimes we do a lot of work just to get the customer, because sometimes there's a lot of relationship building, there's a lot of conversation. One of my best friends took 1.5 years of me nagging her to join the business, so I had to wait 1.5 years. But the journey began then, because when she went into the system, she did her 4 months. She actually fell in love with the product and got rid of all the skepticism that she had, and she actually became a franchisee. So once, yes, you've done the work to get them in the system, but that's when the real journey begins. So our business is built on customers. Now, I know the quickest way to build business is to build a team who bring on customers, because that's your way to impact the many in a short period of time. But we need customers to bring in the volume into our business to get paid on it, right? So that's why we're so passionate about customers. Look after them, because they turn into your best distributors. That's what you get paid on. And so where our pay comes from. And this is one of my favorite things about this business. You get paid years later from one conversation. My best friend, one of my other best friends, was my very first customer, and she's still a customer for me today, 3.5 years later. I talked to her 3.5 years ago, and I make, $100 and something every 4 months from that conversation. So if you do the math, that's how much money I've made in that time. Now, I've only been in the business 3.5 years. We have people been in the business 18 years, and they probably still have customers that they talked to 18 years ago. So it's really, really, really important to look after the customers you have now, because you never know how long. If you look after them and keep them in the system, they're either going to stay customers or they're going to turn into franchisees. And that's going to build your business long term. So it's not all about that quick fix now. It's build for longevity and sustainability. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Awesome. So when Celine asked me to talk a little bit about customer care and customer retention, I thought, oh great, this isn't the sexiest topic to talk about within our business. But I guess what I really wanted to bring across to you guys is what is attractive is a really booming business, right? Hands up here who would love a great business that's very successful. Yeah, lots of hands up. So I want to make customer care sexy again, because I really believe that your customer care and your customer retention massively is a big piece of the puzzle towards you being really successful and achieving your goals. So I heard a statement, I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and the speaker that spoke said, know the colour of their carpet. And what this means is if you think about this business and the way it used to be done, years ago, 10, 20 years ago, you ask any of the greats that are here sitting in the room with us, the way this business, the way you used to do this business was you'd go to people's homes and you'd sit in their living room and you'd talk to them and you'd connect with them, and maybe you, met them at a party or a social gathering, a meet-up. Some people used to go door knocking, and so that relationship was built in that person's living room, and so you'd know the colour of their carpet. But these days, we're so lucky we've got things like social media, we've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it, right? So we don't know the colour of people's carpet anymore, but what you can do is really find out about them and really build a relationship there and build some trust. So, find out everything about them, know what their partners' names are, their children's names, know what their pets' names are. Who here loves it when someone calls their dog by their name? Yeah, you're just so impressed when someone says to you, like, oh, how's my dog's Lolly? When someone says, how's Lolly going? I'm like, oh, that person remembered my dog's name. So you guys just be really, really into that person. Be interested, be genuinely interested in them, and get to know things about them. Note down their birthdays, what they love to do as a hobby, their favourite flowers, and just the most important thing is just to build a friendship there, not just have them as a customer. Don't forget about them once they're on the product, because their journey, like Abbi was saying before, that journey from customer through is really quite special. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my secrets with what I do and a lot of what our team does, and I truly believe that our team has an incredible retention rate because of the things that we do. So I want to share that with you, and I want you guys to write this down. I want you to take action, because it's really easy for you to sit here and listen, but you need to go and actually do this, and I promise you it works. We've created such a beautiful community and culture for our customers, and I'd love for everyone in this room to go and recreate that for themselves as well. So birthday cards, I love receiving birthday cards, and write down, when you have your customer, you obviously need their date of birth, or write that down, pop it as a reminder in your calendar or whatever way. Like if you're a paper person, I'm a paper person, so I write customers and even teams' birthdays down in my diary, whatever your system is, and then imagine how beautiful that person would feel if they just receive a birthday card, out of the blue, just saying, hey, happy birthday, thinking of you. Amazing. Thank you card. So I definitely send all of my customers a thank you card when they get that reshipment. And again, just saying, like, I appreciate you, thank you for supporting my business, thank you for being a part of this. People really appreciate that. Congratulations cards, if something really exciting is happening in their life, whether they're getting married or they're going on a big trip or whatever it might be, just saying, hey, I'm thinking of you. And even celebration posts, like I know when I always check in with my customers around the halfway mark and and just ask them, like, how are you going, how are you feeling, how are your results? And, you know, if they've had great results, I ask, can I post about it? Can I share your experience? And people love recognition. Like, people love to be put in the spotlight and congratulated for something they've achieved. So that's really going to help your customers feel special as well. So I check in on my customers every 4 weeks. And the way that I've done like a little checklist. I'm a little bit OCD like this, but I've made a checklist and, 16 weeks worth of stuff, and I've got all my customers written down. And the way I've set it up is every 4 weeks, I'm prompted to message my customer just to say, hey, like, how are you going? Can I help you with anything? How are your results going? Are you enjoying all the resources? Because every other week, I tag them in a resource. So I tag them in something, whether it's a YouTube video, like we were saying before, or it's a recipe, or whatever it might be. I'm checking in on them and making sure, I'm not just tagging them in a million things and hoping to God that they read it. So checking in on them monthly, people love that. Also working deep in your organisation. Who here has a couple of people here who they're kind of inactive teamies? Yeah, there's a few people that come into this business and they're happy where they're at, and we meet them there, and that's completely fine. But think about those customers that person's brought on, because that person's probably not doing customer care, and it's really special when you can actually reach down in your organisation and just reach down and do the same for those people. So systemize a way that you want to do this. There's amazing automatic services online for free. There's CRM, there's checklist paper if that's your thing. Figure out a way for you to be prompted every week or every 4 weeks or whatever you want to do to check in on your people. So I'm massive on community and massive on culture. That's why I love this business, because of the community and the culture. And what we've done, our team, we've created a community for people to have a second home for our customers. So they really feel like they're being looked after, and we care about them, and we have their best interest at heart. So most people here have a Facebook group where you feed your customers in. We sort of go above and beyond with our customer Facebook group, and our main goal is to inspire, educate, and entertain, because we want to have fun at the same time. So things that you can do, as a team, you're not just have one person running this page. As a team, collectively, put things in there that are educational, blog posts that you've read, or YouTube videos, or whatever it might be. You really want to fill this page up with goodness so that you do have resources to tag your customers in. I like to do monthly newsletters just to update all of our customers with what's happening inside our Facebook group, vlogs and blogs. If anyone here's a writer, what a perfect platform for you to blog about your passion and educate others through that. We share recommended books and recommended documentaries. So literally, like, you go on Netflix and there's all these amazing documentaries that people can watch for free. So, well, not for free because they're paying for Netflix, but you know what I mean. So just, we've got an album in our Facebook page, all documentaries available on things like Stan or Netflix or whatever it might be, all health related. My wonderful friends Kate and Anthony have created a documentary called Overfed and Undernourished, and that's the first documentary that we send our customers to, because it's incredible. And if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it, and you need to educate your customers about that. So something else that we do, which I really love, is we run a monthly challenge in our Facebook page. So every month is a different theme. It's all about, how can we educate our customers on something new, I love holistic health and preventative health. So, for example, this month, our theme is mental health. So our challenge for the month is a 21-day meditation challenge. And this is awesome because people are really getting in touch with meditation and decreasing stress and anxiety. And that's just that's just what I love to do for people. I really love for them to learn about whole food nutrition, but deeper than that as well. So run little challenges like that in your page. We also love to do group activities like Mount Warning hikes, or those for you on the Gold Coast or northern New South Wales. Get your customers together that are in your area and just really create that culture, because I promise you, when you have created a culture that's just, it gives you big goosebumps, people will not leave your community. They'll love the product, they'll get amazing results on the product, but they're going to love you. They're going to buy you even more so than the product. Some people say to me, like, well, I don't know what to say to people. Like, I don't know how to educate. I don't know how to do that. I really want you to think about what you're passionate about. What's your health story? What's got you here today? What are your amazing results? And really build a community around that, because I promise you, once you become very clear with your intention and what you're all about, you just magnetize those people to you. They just flock to you, and you can create this beautiful community, and you're all inspiring one another, and it's a really beautiful journey. So I'd love for you to wake up every single day and just think, how can I add extra value into that person's life today? And I promise you, you'll come up with something awesome. So, I like to do something sneaky called creating FOMO, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's fear of missing out. And I like to do this on my social media platforms. So to give you an example, like anything that's happening in my community, my customer page, I'll talk about it on Instagram or Facebook, and the amount of messages I get from people who are like, I want to join that challenge, like how can I be a part of that, or whatever it might be. It's a perfect opportunity to say, this is how you can join my community, and educate them on what you're all about, educate them on the product, and it's really wonderful. So I do this a lot, and I've got some examples coming up in a minute of how I do that. But the really important thing to remember when you are creating that culture and that community is to meet the 6 core human needs that I've got here on this slide. And you want to write these down, because people feel, when you can connect with them with all these things in mind, people really feel that, and they don't want to leave. And so, I'll get to my 14th week, and on my checklist, I'm prompted to check in with such and such, like they're getting a reshipment in 2 weeks' time. So I'll check in and say, hey, just to let you know, your product's and then they'll say, oh, I can't afford it. I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then it's that, oh, but do I leave the Facebook page? And you're creating that FOMO. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to leave the community. I don't want to. So, okay, I'll figure it out. Let's figure it out. And whether we go to the double rather than the trio, whatever it might be, just fairies, whatever it is, you want to find a way for your person to stay connected. And people really do want to stay connected. They don't want to leave you. So this is just an example of one of the ways I create FOMO. So join us for 21-day meditation challenge this month. You can personal message me on details. And yeah, that's a perfect post to do. So people can connect with you and ask you how they can be a part of that. We had one of my wonderful friends, Tash, who's a psychologist. She's a part of the business, and she did a webinar for all of our customers this month on anxiety, because our theme was mental health. And so just posting about that, like who wants to get a seat with our webinar, and again, inbox full of messages, how can I be a part of this? Like, this sounds incredible. So yeah, just a few more there. We had another challenge, a Whole 30 challenge, so eating whole foods for 30 days, and it was incredible the movement we created with that. People want to learn more. People want to learn how to be healthy, and you have that gift, so use it. Again, just talking about like what resources we have in our Facebook page. So I'm talking about all of our guided meditations that we have for people within there, and just another way. So just to talk a little bit about action, these are some things that you can do. Again, a part of that customer care. So at week 12 on my checklist, I'm prompted to send my customer who's maybe on the premium or the fruit and veg, just a sample shake. And I'll send them that in the post with a little note and just say, hey, congratulations, you've gotten up to, you're nearly finished, and you're about to have another reshipment. I'm so proud of you, congratulations, you've just done this to your body, and you feel so amazing now. Imagine how you're going to feel in another 4 months' time. And this usually gets my customer asking me, how can I buy those shakes? So that's a really good tip. Again, preempt their reshipment. You know, rather than saying like, oh, did you know that your thing's going to reship? Like, do you want it? Instead of saying that, say, oh my God, you feel so amazing right now. Like, imagine what you're going to be like in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Speak as if that person will be with you forever. So yeah, just a few other things that I've already touched on there. With a welcome form, I like to just make my customers fill out this tiny little form. It's electronic, so it's online and it shoots through to my email. And it's just to talk about their health goals, where they currently are, where they want to go. And then, you know, at the 13-week mark, when I'm talking to them about their reshipment, I get that form out and I compare their results. Like, oh, look at this. Do you remember like your energy was a 5 out of 10 when you started this? What's it now? 10 out of 10. Awesome. So that's something that I really love to do so that they can see, because we forget how bad we used to feel. I know I've definitely forgotten what my health was like prior to Juice Plus. So that's a really great way for your customers to realize, wow, this is really changing my life. So before I wrap up, I just wanted to finish off with a story based around customer care. So I began this business in November 2015, so it's just coming up to a year and a half, and I still have my customers today that got me to DVF and SDVF. And there's one in particular, I love her dearly. She got me to DVF, so she was one of my very first customers. And it's been an incredible 18 months with her. The reason she wanted to go on the product was because she had just gotten married and she was really excited to fall pregnant. And so, you know, I educated her on, we had the research, I had awesome testimonials to show her. I just educated her in what she would be flooding her body with by taking the product. And it was it's been a really interesting 18 months. She's gone to see fertility specialists, they couldn't fall pregnant. She's been through IVF 5 times. So, you know, that roller coaster ride of, oh, I'm pregnant, hey, I'm just letting you know, like, not this time, it's not the right time, obviously, that it'll happen when it's meant to happen. And it was really quite emotional going through that journey with her. Now, I've never met this lady before. I've spoken to her on the phone, I've jumped on a Zoom with her several times, we text, you know, I obviously talk to her every month. But it was pretty amazing that she was able to share that with me, what she was going through. She had someone to talk to, she had someone that she could cry to, and that journey of her, you know, having to remortgage her home because of the IVF treatments, like, it really tore my heart to pieces. And I'll never forget, it was last month, and it was a Friday morning, and I remember it so clearly because we have our team training on a Friday morning at 9 a.m, and I'm sitting there with my computer, and I've got all these beautiful faces on the line. I'm doing a team training, and I get a text message, and I knew that she had gone through another bout of IVF, and I got the text message, and my heart just dropped because I thought, oh my gosh, what's this going to say? Like, it had been so many times where I'd got that message, hey, I just want to let you know, not this time. So my heart stopped and I couldn't open it. I waited for our team training to finish, and I opened her text message, and we had this. So I just wanted to share this with you because this lady, I've never met her, but she will never leave. She will be a customer for life, and I really believe it's because of the customer care and the love that I gave her. And it's pretty beautiful to think that I was a part of this journey and she could have me a part of, and she felt open enough to share that with me. It's really touched me, and that's why I'm in this business. This is exactly why. So I gave her a gift, a congratulations gift. my gorgeous friend Kate Gollet, one of our NMDs, has written a beautiful book called Raising Healthy Families. So I was getting adjusted and I saw her book and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to buy this and send it to her. And just like people really, really appreciate you when you love on them hard. So just remember that. And like the girls have touched on, I've got some teamies who have been customers. They're here today, and training for your best distributors really does begin the day they become a customer. Like, you're training them. That's training them on how to become one of the best distributors you'll have. So, yeah, that's customer care sexy.